onto the internet.
Look at that. We're live.
We're live on the internet. That's how this thing works.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just jump into it. Let's do it.
Oh man, that's great.
Look at that.
I like it.
I've considered that.
Yeah, he's been standing on my table back there in robot mode for a couple weeks. I finally got around to transforming him.
I mean,
nice.
He still doesn't hold a candle to
a Macross,
the Valkyrie,
right?
But still pretty cool.
This is how he looks on the show.
Yeah, I know.
That's his show design.
I remember being so confused by that when I got the Jetfire toy. I was like, "Well, this looks like Robotech," and it doesn't look like that on the show. What's going on?
Legally distinct.
There you go. Hello and welcome to episode number 864 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, June 13th, 2023. I am your host, Chris Johnston, and with me as always from Canada and sunburned, Mr. Greg Stewart.
Hello. Canada's where you go to get sunburned.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. How you doing?
My head.
Other than being
I have sunstroke.
Ridiculously sunburned. Yeah. You should really put some
racing stripes. That's good.
Put some sunscreen on before you.
Oh, you know what?
Wear a hat.
You know what, Dad?
He's got a good point.
Or just, don't go outside at all.
I did put on sunscreen.
Yeah.
Did you put it on top of your head?
No, I wear a hat.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Well, it didn't seem to do much good.
No. And
my head's fine. I mean, it's
yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about the sun.
Fine.
I'm talking about the sunscreen.
Everything else.
I didn't need sunscreen on the top of my head. I was wearing a hat.
But you're still sunburned.
Not on the top of my head.
I'm not talking about the top of your damn head.
You said the top of my head.
Now I'm talking about your sunburn, which is all over everywhere but the top of your head. Maybe you should have worn a bigger hat.
Who's on first?
Everywhere but the top of my head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So your sunscreen's not doing much good, is it?
Yes, I don't disagree.
Was it sunscreen?
Yes.
Did you grab the Crisco container by accident?
I get my cholesterol other ways. I don't have Crisco.
Alrighty, and then from the great state of Washington, in the shade, Mr. Phil Theobald.
I mean, why would I go outside?
Throwing shade.
Throwing shade and in the shade.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Why is it hot there?
Particularly.
It's mild.
Nice. It's nice.
I don't understand the shade reference.
But the sun is shining, but Phil's not in it because
there
he's in
ain't
the shade.
a cloud in sight. It stopped raining.
Yeah.
That's like the song do. I just got back from seeing the Spider-Man again.
Oh. Yeah?
We went and saw it again.
I gotta go see that.
Well, I mean, I went and saw it the other night, and today was a family movie outing, so we took Finn to go see it.
Excellent. You had to preview it before you took the fam?
I mean, that's just good parenting.
Made sure
it's appropriate. Just to make sure there was nothing objectionable in it. And to see it without having to potentially, get up and go, take a kid to the restroom or
there you go.
Get snacks,
Yeah. I get it.
You know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
I wanted an undisturbed theatrical
experience
showing for that movie because I knew it was going to be great.
Yeah,
and it was. And 'twas just as good the second time around.
I see.
Caught a few more details, a few more little Easter egg type things.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
Nice.
Yep.
So I assume both of you have been following Summer Game Fest and the Wholesome Direct and the Xbox Showcase and the
Wholesome
Game
Direct
Show.
I don't know what that is.
What's the Wholesome Direct? Is that like a bread thing?
Is it like a religious
It's a
thing?
website. Wholesome Games is a website, and they do
that a religious
presentation. No, it's not. They do a presentation of cozy indie games.
Oh.
They've done this for
I didn't watch that.
Several
years. Is this a Kirk Cameron thing?
No, it is not.
Is it all about the Horde?
No, it is not. No.
I wish all he talked about was the Horde.
No movement in any Horde remakes this year. Tune in next year.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay.
But you never know. You certainly never know with this. Yeah. So it's not E3, but it kind of feels like E3.
Welcome to not E3.
The number of showcases and announcements we've got. You guys clearly have watched every single one, every single trailer.
So earlier today,
on
our show, our production chat, maybe a little peek behind the curtain here.
Mm-hmm.
CJ was like, I don't want to talk about everything that was at Summer Games Fest. Right. So you guys just list out a couple of things you want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To which I responded, Summer Games Fest happened this week. I was completely oblivious.
I'm just amused that CJ is being so snarky, not knowing at all what I've watched.
I assume you haven't watched anything.
Well, that's what happens when you assume things, CJ.
What's that?
You're a moron.
Well, what did you watch? What did you watch? Tell me what you watched.
Well, I don't know if you heard about this. There was a Sony Summer Game Fest.
No.
Or something.
Sony's thing was 2 weeks ago.
What was it called?
We talked about that. PlayStation Showcase that happened 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I didn't watch any of this stuff.
2 weeks.
No, I didn't watch all the Xbox thing, but I watched trailers that interested me.
Yeah, I've done the same for
which is a good way to do it, right?
You bet it is, baby.
And did you list those on the outline so that we know?
Outline? No, because they were all listed.
Because I listed.
Yeah,
because you agree with my choices.
Here. I do. 100%.
I should go check the outline.
100%. Alrighty then.
Hold on. Actually, let me look at the outline. I haven't looked at it yet.
Yeah, it checks out.
Persia, okay.
Those aren't too bad.
Not
Spider-Man.
bad.
I didn't realize they showed the Spider-Man at the Xbox thing, but okay, that's fine.
Well, they didn't.
Oh, they didn't.
Summer Game Fest. They showed.
Oh,
Summer Game Fest.
Yeah. I'm confused.
Yes.
The Summer Game Fest. That was the
Jeff Keighley.
Jeff Keighley thing.
The Keighleyverse.
That's why I mistook it for a Sony event, because it's a Jeff Keighley event.
Okay.
And dude loves his Sony.
Well, he loves his Kojima.
Yeah.
No Kojima in this presentation, however.
Kojima was he posted a tweet that I was seeing all over the place today. That was I think it was supposed to explain the overarching plot of the Metal Gear franchise.
Okay.
It seemed like more like he was having a stroke. Like,
wait, it
didn't make any sense.
This was a tweet?
Yeah, there was a tweet.
He's summing up the Metal Gear storyline in a tweet?
Hey, listen, I don't make the rules.
But not anymore, because Metal Gear Delta is coming out, and that's going to change things, right? Might not be.
The hierarchy of the Metal Gear universe is about to change.
Could change. Yeah.
Maybe it'll make sense.
Possible.
Maybe we'll get a re-release of Acid. And Acid 2.
So let's talk about some Summer Game Fest and Xbox Showcase stuff. Why don't we? I'm just going to go down my list of things that,
so let's go ahead.
that caught my eye. First of all, they opened Summer Game Fest with Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Everyone's very mad.
Ubisoft. Yeah. Everybody's mad, and I don't understand why. I think this looks great. It is a 2.5D action game.
Looks like a cheap budget indie
game. I think it looks
like a cheap budget indie game.
No, it obviously doesn't. But
it looks like Phoenix Rising. That's the first thing I thought when I saw it. It's like it looks like a Phoenix Rising game.
Graphic style, yes. I almost thought, what are did Ubisoft buy the developers of Metroid Dread? And is this their new game or something? Because
no, it looks way too playable to be that.
It's 2.5D and has bosses and looks like a fun action game.
Because there were never 2.5D games with bosses until Metroid Dread came out, or what? I don't understand.
But it looks like a high budget version of those, right?
Well, you know what? Is this
very flashy? Very
Is
flashy.
this the team? Well, don't say Flash because that's going to make people think it's like a Newgrounds thing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
And there's enough stigma.
Well, apparently this
2D
trailer has a
games.
lot of hate on the internet, and I don't know
does.
why, because I think it looks great.
It does look great. Is this game done by the same people, the same team who did the like Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends?
I don't know. This only says Ubisoft original. So we don't know which team is working on it.
I could see people. It does look good.
Yes.
It doesn't look like a Prince of Persia game. In my mind.
What's a Prince of Persia game look like?
That's what I came away with. Well, I should say, okay, I'll put it this way. It looks like it's leaning further towards sort of crazy battle stuff than the Sands of Time and whatever those were, and even the reboot did. So I could see people like I said, I thought it looked good. I mean, it could be any action game.
For me, it's not Prince of Persia unless you have kind of awkward running and stopping animation and there's jumping puzzles.
To jump over a pit. Yeah.
Yes.
There's spikes involved.
I recognize 2 Prince of Persia games.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, even with I know the Sands of Time, was that a trilogy? I mean, I kind of dropped off after the second one, but the Sands of Time and then the Prince of Persia reboot had way more to do with traversal.
Right? Yeah.
There was a lot of combat, but they weren't combat heavy. Right.
Whereas this looks like it's combat heavy.
And this looks very combat heavy. So I could see people saying, not really feeling that.
But I actually don't think that's it. I don't think that's what people are reacting to. I think these are newer gamers that see a 2.5D game and think immediately.
Oh, that's a whole different thing. Yeah, you're right. Because the backlash for the Sonic price is the same stupidity. So
correct.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know that this is
you're probably right.
The disgust about this is fueled by any nostalgia for previous Prince of Persia games.
Well, but
none of those people have played.
Right. What I was about to say is, if we learned anything in the last few years, is that expecting these reboots of these 30 to 40 plus year old franchises to be super true to the source material is kind of a stupid thing to do. So,
well, you know, I don't think
for better or worse.
No,
I think this looks great though.
And you know what? It looks like it is being done by Ubisoft Montpellier.
Oh, okay. So it is
which is the Rayman Legends people. And
then,
Rayman Legends.
Does that mean they're not working on Beyond Good and Evil 2 anymore?
Oh, that's silly. That's cute. That's funny.
I hope
this is their side project.
Combat heavy. I really want them to finally bring that out, and I just want it to be a Flash game.
Beyond Good and Evil 2?
Yeah, 20 minutes long.
Did you play
$70?
Rayman Legends?
Yeah, it's great.
It is.
Yeah,
it absolutely is. So I'm excited.
Which means, they got the pedigree, right? I'm sure this will be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it comes out in January. Next, let's talk Sonic Superstars, which is the other game that is getting hate on the internet because it is a side-scrolling platformer.
I'd love to know I'd love to know why people think this. I really would.
Think what?
Why it should cost less because it's
side-scrolling.
Is that the complaint?
Gameplay.
That's the complaint. Yes.
People are angry that it's what, like a normal price game?
It's a full price game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason people are angry is because, well, it's a 2.5D platformer. Because apparently that means it should be cheaper. I don't know.
That's weird.
That is very weird. But also, Sonic Superstars looks great. Like when that came up on the screen, I was like, yes, this looks really good. Just don't call it Sonic the Hedgehog 4 or have anything to do with Sonic the Hedgehog 4.
Boy, that was
already
the big
Sonic
thing.
4.
Yeah, and that was the big thing that actually when I first saw it is like, I mean, I'm excited. I love the look of it because it's got that sort of classic, really cutesy Sonic look, which is great. But yeah, it's like, oh, this looks a little like Sonic 4. And Sonic 4 was terrible.
It was Sonic 4.
Although I did
This
I
looks
did-
considerably better, I think.
Yeah, and I think I can't remember what Sega itself. Somebody was making a big point of saying like, no, the physics feel good, because that was the problem with Sonic 4. The physics in Sonic 4 were absolutely awful.
They
Yeah.
really
Um,
were.
They were
Like he would come to a dead stop and just fall, and it was just terrible. And a game that was built around momentum, a series that was built around momentum, that game
Yeah.
got it all wrong.
yeah.
But I've heard that this apparently plays much more similar to the classic.
I
Yeah,
hope that
Sonic
it does.
Adventures
But
is great.
also, it's being developed by Arzest. Arzest, if you know them by name, they
I do
well.
not.
Anyway, the internet is calling out that they worked on such classic titles as Balan Wonderworld, that Yoshi's Island 3DS game that everybody hated,
Oh,
the Pikmin game for 3DS that
this-
everybody
I take
hated.
it back.
is this like Artoon?
Yes, it is the former
Former Artoon?
Artoon. Yeah.
Oh.
Arzest.
Oh,
That is making
It's a bunch of Sega people, old
yeah.
Sega
It's a bunch of former
Yo-
Sonic Team
Yoji
people.
Ishii, Naoto Oshima, Yutaka Sugano, like those
right.
are all
yeah.
like 1980s Sega
Right.
personalities.
Yes.
But they worked on like Balan
Yeah.
Wonderworld.
Well, that doesn't necessarily.
They did Street Pass Explorers.
Yeah.
Just saying. I'm just looking at their.
It doesn't
Wikipedia page.
necessarily mean that it's going to be a bad game, especially since these people have already been involved with Sonic previously and maybe have made some good Sonic games.
I mean, if you don't worry about pattern recognition, I guess.
Yeah, it would have been better if this was the Sonic Mania people.
Yeah,
Or-
Sonic Mania was great.
The Sonic Mania people had any hand in this whatsoever. It would have been fantastic.
I think it's an interesting because it's a 4-player simultaneous game, right?
Correct. Yeah.
That's gonna
To
be
work as good as
interesting.
Mario.
Yeah, I that to
Yeah.
me is the bigger concern.
Yeah.
I really want to see how that works,
yes.
I
and I
guess
hope
is
it
not
doesn't
well.
suck single player.
Probably not well, but I hope it's good single player.
Yeah.
It's
I
tough.
can't imagine playing a Sonic game with
No,
3 other people.
it's a tough thing to land a 4-player platformer that also feels good to play single player. Like
Yeah.
that's a tough plane to land.
Yeah, and I also just kind of want it to be good because I feel like Naoto Oshima doesn't get enough credit for creating Sonic.
Right.
Yeah.
It was not Yuji Naka who created Sonic,
No.
but the whole
Right.
world seems to think it was. So
Well, that's why he's going to jail
yeah,
for stealing credit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Stealing credit.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm excited about this. This comes out later this year. Pretty
I
excited.
hope it's
about it.
good.
I hope it's good too.
I really do.
I won't be
fingers
pre-ordering it.
crossed.
Let's say I won't be
Well,
pre-ordering
it's pretty
it.
expensive for a 2D game.
That's not my concern.
I mean,
at
why not
all.
just buy a pack of
Would
cards?
you might as would you pay $70 for a mobile game? Well, CJ would. Would most people pay $70 for a mobile game?
I would pay upwards of $10,000 for a mobile game if the gotcha
If it
mechanics
was free to
were-
start.
Yeah.
That's right. Then also people did think it looked like a mobile game just because of the graphic
That's
style.
weird.
That's a weird thing to
Yeah.
say.
That is a weird thing to
It
say.
clearly didn't look like a mobile game.
Well, I'm just repeating what I heard on the
I-
internet.
I do think that, like I've said this before, 2D Sonic built with polygon, like in a world built with polygons, has never looked right to me.
Yeah.
It loses something in the translation. But I mean, this looks a lot to me. It looks a lot like Sonic Generations,
Yes,
which is
it
not a
does.
bad thing. Sonic
Right.
Generations was fantastic. So I'm hoping that that it ends up being good.
And apparently the comment was made that the stages in this won't be reusing any zones that have been previously used in Sonic games. So they're
Yeah,
not like,
no, Just
revisiting.
because they're not calling it the Green Hill Zone doesn't mean it's not the Green Hill Zone.
Well, exactly. It'll look a whole hell of a lot like the Green Hill
Yeah.
Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there you go. And then Alan Wake 2. I gotta say, the gameplay segment they showed was kind of underwhelming just in general. It wasn't very actiony. But I'm still all in on Alan Wake
Yep.
2. I'm very excited
I
about
didn't
it.
care
Yeah.
getting it.
Yeah.
And I'll be on
Then-
Game Pass, I assume.
I don't think so.
No,
No,
because it's not a Microsoft thing anymore.
it's not a
is it?
Microsoft game.
Right.
Remedy bought it back.
Right.
And it's Epic Games Store exclusive as
Hmm.
well. So yeah, probably not Game Pass. Gonna
Hmm.
have to buy it. It is a digital only game, by the way. No physical
It's starting.
version. And what is it? MPD's Matt Piscatella saying that he envisions this will be a trend and we'll see this
You got a lot of hate for
happening
that too.
more and more. Yeah, it's probably true though.
It's absolutely true.
Yeah. All right, then I want to talk about John Carpenter's Toxic Commando for a moment.
I loved that cartoon show.
Because when Jeff Keighley said the next game is from John Carpenter, I was like, "Oh yes, we're going to get another video game adaptation of The Thing, and it's going to be great."
I
Another
was hoping
video
for
game
another
adaptation of The Thing.
asynchronous multiplayer game.
CJ wanted to play The Thing.
Yep.
I want to be The Thing.
Yeah,
Right?
that's what I mean.
Yeah. But no, it was not that. Instead, we have this game from Saber and Focus Home Interactive, and it's a zombie horde shooter, and it looks
So-
really.
Does John Carpenter have anything to do with this?
That's also my question, because John Carpenter is a fairly big gamer, right?
Okay.
And I believe he has at least weighed in on some narrative games in the past, but this looks like it has basically no narrative and you're just mowing down zombies.
Right.
So how involved did he, is it like a Tom Clancy thing where he wrote the outline and
That's what I think. That's yeah. Or even, I mean, even beyond that, like Tom Clancy clearly has been dead for a while now.
Yeah.
But they're still making Tom Clancy games. He's not writing any outlines anymore. So it's
True.
just the
if he ever did for any of those games.
right. So even that, I wonder if they just have his name licensed somehow, and it's like in the spirit of like something John Carpenter would make.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know anything about. I don't know for sure. Obviously.
Yeah,
What do I know? I only found out about this thing 2 hours ago.
it
so.
does not look terribly good. I mean, I'm hoping good things, but yeah, it looks like a zombie horde mode shooter. That's it. We got a release date for Spider-Man 2.
Oh man,
We did.
October 20th. Is that right?
October 20th. Yeah.
Revealed by Brian Intihar,
Friend of the show.
Sporto himself.
Yeah. Very excited about this game. I don't need to see any more
Oh my
of
God.
it, really.
Yeah,
I'll be
right?
buying it,
Yeah.
playing it, all the things.
They showed a little bit of. I didn't because I don't know if there was a gameplay reveal. I was just going
No,
down
there
this
was not.
list of okay.
No.
So they were just talking to Brian, but they did show a tiny bit of footage that I don't remember seeing before. Which
That was in the
Peter
Sony
fighting.
present. That was in the
Oh, was
Sony
it?
PlayStation
Okay.
Showcase
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay. I can't wait for that game. That's gonna be so good.
It is.
Oh, I'm so excited. And yeah, so hearing that the island is about 4 times as big now. This includes Queens and I don't know other New York boroughs that I can't remember the names of. Sorry, New Yorkers. But
right.
yeah, oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So excited.
It is.
Mhm.
Yeah. Next game I want to talk about is Banishers Ghosts of New Eden. So this is from Don't Nod. And Focus Entertainment is publishing. And this looks like you know that game from Asobo Studio, the Plague Tale Innocence, how that had kind
Never
of
heard
a
of it.
Naughty Dog feel to it, and we were pretty excited about that. I thought that was a great game. This kind of, to me, feels like in that vein, like AA trying to be Naughty Dog-ish.
Great.
With a strong narrative, and you play this kind of ghost hunter that banishes people to the afterlife, and it's sort of got a Frighteners thing going in this as well, because you are a human character who's working with, I think it sounds like maybe it's your wife who died and is now a ghost.
Ghost wife.
Ghost wife. And
Could
It
have just
looks-
divorced her, dude.
it looks great. It looks really, really good. The trailer looks good. It's from Don't Nod, who I know a lot of people like from their narrative games. I've never played any of the Life is Strange games, but
I
I've
played
heard
the
good
first
things.
series and they were really good. I've never gone back for some reason, but no, that's
Yeah.
great. And I mean, if it's another sort of AA game trying to sort of reach that bar that's been set by Naughty Dog in the past.
Yeah.
That's great, because then there's an element of sort of ambition there, but also creative problem solving.
Yeah.
That you kind of like to see how they're going to handle it, and if they're successful.
Indeed. Yeah. And then Under the Waves, let's talk about this. So this is a Quantic Dream Presents game, apparently not developed by Quantic Dream, but it is like presented, it's being published by them. And it is
John Carpenter's Quantic Dream
narrative adventure game where you are an undersea explorer, or you are basically the custodian of this undersea like research lab, and you are down I don't know how far down, deep sea, and you kind of go a little crazy while you're down there.
It was BioShock.
A little bit of Dead Space vibes going on. Dead Space plus Subnautica kinds of things here. So you're trying to figure out what has happened in this research station, and it looks really cool. And that comes out in August, and I'm very excited about that.
I'll play that.
Yeah. Next, I want to talk about Fae Farm. This is from Phoenix Labs, the developers of Dauntless, which I really enjoy that game. That is a sort of Monster Hunter-ish, but more arcadey style game. This is a farming game where the idea is that you can play solo or with friends. You can have like a homestead with 4 other players, and you can grow things, like play a very Animal Crossing type of game, but then also go out and like scavenge for materials, and there's like a battle mechanic as well. So it looks like a light like action game, sort of Zelda-ish maybe, with combat, and then you go back and you have this farm, and it's sort of Animal Crossing in that you can decorate your home and things like that. So I don't know if this is a free-to-play game or if it's just an online game, but it is from Phoenix Labs, and I've loved their work with Dauntless, so I'm down for this.
I got nothing on this one.
Got nothing on this one. Let's talk Fable. Let's go into the Xbox showcase here.
How do you say Richard
Ayoade?
Is that how you say it? Ayoade? That doesn't sound right at all. Ayoade?
I don't know.
Anyway,
yes, he is the main character in this trailer.
It's great.
Show him. Great. I think his name is Dave in the trailer.
Giant vegetable.
Growing giant vegetables, and then at the end of the trailer there's the reveal that he's the giant at the top of the beanstalk, I assume. Seemed like what that is.
I'm interested in this
too.
I've been sort of on and off with Fable over the years. Like the first Fable I thought was pretty neat, and I played it for like, I don't know, 10 hours maybe, and then I was kind of over it. Fable 2 I adored. I couldn't put that down. Fable 3 I bounced off pretty quick, but there's something about those games that just makes me want to play them. I don't know what it is. And having him in the trailer didn't hurt, because obviously he's hilarious. And
there's also something about this game. So this is developed by Playground Games, but there's also like a fourth
it's a racing game.
A fourth wall breaking thing they have going with this, and the humor I think is very well done, at least so far.
Right.
With the trailers they have. Of course, that's very difficult to
It's gonna be very British
game. I'm down with that though. Like I'm into
Same.
it.
I'm interested to see what happens with it.
I have never liked any of the previous Fable games, but this one,
I think for me, I don't even think Fable 2 is like particularly amazing in any way. It hit just right for me. You know what I mean? Like it was exactly what I wanted to play, exactly when it came out. It just was what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it looks great.
I've never had much interest in Fable, but I do like Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. So,
are you a big fan of the IT Crowd as well?
I've never seen IT Crowd.
You've never seen the IT Crowd? Wow.
Never seen IT Crowd.
That's a good show. Yeah.
You'd enjoy the IT Crowd.
Would I?
I think you would.
I wouldn't watch it in any way that gives the creator any kind of money, but because he's a bit of a train wreck.
Right.
But it is a fantastic show.
Okay.
Yeah. Next on my list is the Sea of Thieves expansion
Oh my
that
goodness.
they announced that I'm very excited to play with my co-host
I feel like
Phil Theobald.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel
Cool.
like you put it in our Discord or our Slack because you're trying to goad Phil into saying he wants to play Sea of Thieves.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
exactly correct.
Am I going to have to? I don't want to.
It's Monkey Island.
It's
I
Monkey
know.
Island.
I know.
It is Sea of Thieves, The Legend of Monkey Island. And
But,
of course, I've known for years that Rare, the designers at Rare who work on Sea of Thieves, are huge fans of Monkey Island. And in fact, in the Pirates of the Caribbean expansion, there's a little section of one of the chapters in that goes over some Monkey Island stuff. And
right.
Does it have any three-headed monkeys?
I don't know.
It should.
I don't know. Maybe it does. So they announced this expansion that I imagine will be played like Tall Tales in the game that you can play at any time in any order, usually. And this comes out on July 20th. So they put out a trailer for it. They say in an engine, but all of these are they're pre-rendered.
As long as one of the ghost ships that pops up out of the waves is Ghost Pilot LeChuck's ship.
I wouldn't put it
Pirate
past.
LeChuck's
Yeah,
ship
it
and-
looks like. Did you
and-
watch the
and
trailer?
Add Melee Island. No, and add Melee Island and Phil's in.
So
Uh,
I mean,
all of those
did you not
things are
watch
in the
the
trailer.
trailer?
All of those things are in the trailer.
Uh-oh.
And I mean,
Uh-oh.
it's got like the cast from the game
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
reprising all their roles and everything.
Yeah.
It's got like old man Guybrush,
Yes.
like grizzled older Guybrush. Yeah.
And I know that, Sea of Thieves lead designer is huge into the Monkey Island game. So this is going to be good. This is going to be a very reverent work, I think.
I still
Phil.
haven't finished that last Monkey Island game.
It's free on Game Pass, Phil. Do what I do anytime something interesting happens in Sea of Thieves. Install the game, play for a couple hours with CJ, and then uninstall the game.
That's exactly it.
I own a copy of Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, you own it.
I think CJ bought a copy for us all when it
did.
came out.
You're right.
Yeah. And I played it
Oh, yeah.
for a week or two, and I was like, well, this is not for me.
Did you even play it for a week or two? We never played together.
We
you
never
played it with
played
the-
together?
No,
never
you
did.
played with your coworkers.
I did.
but
Yes,
never-
I played with
What a
with,
jerk.
never
with my
played
real
with me.
friends.
Never played with me.
Is that
But-
right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's crazy. Well, now I feel
Well,
bad.
I mean,
See?
I'll play with you when Monkey
guys were
Island comes out.
neighbors, so I'm surprised you never played together.
What's that?
You guys were neighbors. I'm surprised you never played together.
Neighbors.
I mean, we do live fairly close to each other.
Well, you used to live pretty close to each other.
That's true. I mean,
Not exactly neighbors, but neighboring
Close
towns.
enough.
Yeah. But yeah, July 20th this comes out. So I assume, Phil, we will be playing this.
I guess I have to.
Don't
I
worry,
guess I
you,
have to
you
at
can
least
join the
try it.
crew and walk through it. You won't have to play it.
I have to say that when I hang out with your best friend Mike, one of the things I ask is, so what new multiplayer game did CJ talk you into playing this time?
That's right.
And he
Yeah,
always
there
has the
hasn't been
answer.
one for a while.
Yeah,
There hasn't been one for a while.
maybe I haven't seen him for a while.
There you go. Next, I want to talk about Jusant, which I don't know if that's how you say this, but this is also from Don't Nod, and this is an action puzzle game where you are like climbing the sides of mountains, and there are different villages that are like built
Zelda?
into the side of a mountain. It very much looks like some of the key art for Breath of the Wild that was released before that game came out. So it looks interesting. There's a lot of climbing, obviously, a lot of trying to get your grip so that you can continue ascending. And I think the graphical style looks really great. I thought for a second maybe this was a sort of reintroduction of Everwild because it looks very nature focused. Everwild, of course, another game from Rare that we've seen, I think, 2 trailers for, and it has not been heard from since. So, but Jusant looks really interesting. And then I want to kind of end the Xbox talk maybe by talking about Clockwork Revolution. So this game from In Exile Entertainment, this looks like BioShock Infinite, but maybe done right? Question mark.
Mm-hmm.
Very BioShocky, and it's like a retro future kind of thing. And you have the ability to rewind time and also like hop forward in time. So there's like kind of like a butterfly effect mechanic going on where something you change in the past affects something in the future. And you can watch the trailer, very BioShock Infinite ish. But I think it looks fantastic. Anything that has a sort of retro future aesthetic is something that I'm going to be down for. So
I would
yeah,
play something like that. Yeah.
looks great. Although it's In Exile Entertainment, I don't think I've ever played any of their games.
I think
And
they
I
did
think they're mostly
Bard's Tale. I think I played that.
they're mostly known for like RTSs and RPGs, which I just that those are not my genres.
Right.
So I haven't really gone into that at all. But yeah. So those are the things that kind of caught my eye.
Hmm.
In,
I'm interested in the new Star Wars game.
Yeah, how about that new Star Wars game
Star Wars
from Ubisoft?
Outlaws,
Yeah.
which is apparently going to be an open world type game.
Yes, it's being done by Massive, which is the team that does the Division series.
Which I have
for
never
Ubisoft,
played.
Which you've never played. I think I tried to play a little of it and didn't like it. So, but
Okay.
then again, military shooters and me are not usually a good
No.
match. So,
No.
but maybe Star Wars
Hopefully.
would be a good match.
I mean, you know, like I said, I already finished Jedi Survivor, so
Yeah.
I always enjoy at least checking out a new Star Wars game. So
So you might be down for Star Wars Outlaws. Oh,
hopefully it's good.
you'll at least be keeping your
the-
eye on it.
The trailer didn't really say much about what it was.
No, it did not.
There is another Ubisoft presentation tomorrow
Okay.
where we will learn more about it. The thing that we saw was pretty much a pre-rendered CG trailer, right?
Yeah.
Didn't show any gameplay, so
Right. It was just introducing the characters and the world kind of thing.
that's right. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and some new Yakuza.
New Yakuza.
Which I'm
What is it
which I'm
called?
always
Infinite
excited
Money.
about.
What is it called?
Like
What
a
is the name?
Dragon, Infinite Wealth.
Infinite Wealth.
Yes. And this is I mean, I guess technically not Yakuza, because it's part of like the new sort of take on it. The
Mhm.
Like a Dragon following Ichiban.
Yeah.
So
It seems like maybe this does not take place in Japan.
it doesn't look like it.
Maybe Hawaii.
Looks I'm assuming it's Hawaii.
Yeah, because in the
So-
trailer, Ichiban wakes up on a beach,
Yep.
naked,
Nude.
and they go through some very humorous Austin Powers-y gags to cover up his midsection, his torso.
His penis.
Yep,
You can say it.
that's the one.
It's a proper word.
Okay.
His willy. His
His
dingly
Willy
dangly.
Beamish. His Willy Beamish.
Jesus.
But yeah, that looks cool too. I wish I wasn't just so bored of Yakuza's narrative. Like I can't play a Yakuza.
Oh, but Like a
game.
Dragon is not the same as a regular Yakuza game.
I know. I should give it another.
Have you played a
shot.
Yakuza game?
Yes,
Okay.
I've tried several times.
Okay.
and
Seriously,
it
Like a
just-
Dragon might be sort of the breath of fresh air you're looking for there.
Maybe so. Maybe I should try it. Is that what you're saying? I should try it.
Yes.
Okay. I'll do it. All right. You guys got anything else you want to say about Xbox for Summer Game Fest?
You covered most of it.
There you
What-
go.
What do
There
you
was
guys
the
think
Final
about Star-
Fantasy VII, the next Final Fantasy VII remake thing looked kind of interesting, but I don't really have much to say about it other than that.
What do you guys think of Starfield?
Oh, let's talk Starfield. Yes. I watched that direct and I don't really know what to make of it because the game that they're marketing, they're marketing as this sort of hard sci-fi game with all this stuff. But then they do things like they have characters talk, and the dialogue just seems so like weird and jokey. And then there was a bit in in the direct where they were polling different developers on what they like to do in the game, and one of them said they like boarding enemy ships and stealing their cargo. And in this case that they showed, the cargo was sandwiches.
Okay.
So I was like, let me get this straight. In this hard sci-fi space exploration game, you engaged an enemy ship,
Mm-hmm.
boarded them,
Yeah.
killed the entire crew
Mhm.
for sandwiches. And they actually show like a pile of
What kind of
bright
sandwiches?
red
You
sandwiches.
think people in space don't have to eat?
like
Yeah.
PBJ, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah.
with weird-
I mean, I'll be honest. I've had days where I'd kill for a peanut butter and jelly
I
sandwich.
know. Well, let
mean-
me just say this: like the game that they're presenting in a segment like that, and some of the like jokey-ish, like cheesy dialogue, I'm like, I'm kind of down for that. It kind of seems like Guardians of the Galaxy-ish in some of those ways,
Mm-hmm.
kind of over the top. But then they're like, you can explore all these planets and create your settlements on these planets, and it's like serious science fiction. And then they'll cut to the same developer who talked about the sandwiches, saying that they make their spaceships, because you can design your own spaceship, they make
Mhm.
theirs look like animals.
CJ's
And it's
just
like-
mad because
There's a mismatch here, right? There's a mismatch here because they're marketing this as a very like serious sci-fi, hard sci-fi RPG, and then the things that they're showing that interest me anyway are like more jokey and humorous. and
Starfield should be stealing lasagna. That's why CJ's upset.
Wow.
That's true. Starfield
Yeah.
should be
Yeah.
still
Banned.
lasagna. But what I'm curious, what do you guys think of Starfield? Did you watch the direct portion of this?
I didn't watch. I just watched the trailer
Mhm.
for it, so I'm not privy to this sandwich discussion.
Yeah, I
Okay.
watched the trailer as well, and I mean, it looks like something that the subject matter is like, I want to play that, but I bounce off Bethesda games so fast all the
Yeah,
time.
that's the problem.
It's like,
That's
this
kind of
looks
where I am.
awesome, and I'll play it for like 4 hours. I'm like, I don't like this.
That's kind of where I am.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Well, I think it's also when I see games now that are open world and the pitch is you can go anywhere, you can do anything, you can do all this stuff, you can decide how you want to play. It's like all of a
don't
sudden
want
I don't
to.
really want to do anything in this game. Like I kind of want a more directed experience for you to show me what the gameplay loop is. And they actually didn't do that in any of this presentation. They like
Mm.
went around the thing like, here's the combat, here's the guns, here's the spaceships, here's the narrative, here's the exploration, here's the colonizing these planets, here's your robot buddy, here's your blah 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 blah. And it's like, well, show me like what a typical play session would be. Like, what am I doing in a typical play session?
You're doing whatever you want, man.
Doing whatever you want.
world
And in
is
that
your
case,
oyster.
I've already played No Man's Sky, and I haven't been playing it very recently.
How's Tears of the Kingdom working out for you?
I'm still playing Tears of the Kingdom.
Because of the directed narrative?
Uh-oh.
I see
Weasel
what you're
out of this
doing.
one.
I see what you're doing.
Weasel out of
There-
this one.
There is a bit of a directed narrative in
No, I don't
Tears
really
of
want to
the
get into
Kingdom.
it, David. I just thought it was funny that you were literally making the same complaints that I made about like Breath of the Wild. But
But to me, here's the thing about Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Like Tears of the Kingdom, the more recent trailers and presentations that they've done, they've selected like a couple of things to show you, like the Ultra Hand, like the Ascend ability, like the Fuse ability,
Mhm.
and they really focused on those. They didn't show like the dungeons or any of the side quest stuff in trailers. We got to discover those things when the
Mm.
game came out, but they showed you like a snippet of here's the loop of the game, like you can go and do this. And
sure.
I just don't feel this longer gameplay direct on Starfield showed that.
Apparently,
It
the
just-
internet's going crazy because it was locked at 30 frames per second.
It's always something.
I don't know. I mean, it's Hey, it's gonna be free on Game Pass, right?
Mhm.
Is
I'll
it?
try it.
Yeah, that's the reason I'll play it. I mean, I
Well,
wouldn't
it's
buy
Bethesda,
it. I
right?
wouldn't buy it.
Microsoft owns Bethesda.
Oh
now,
yeah,
so-
yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be free on Game Pass. Comes out in September.
Okay.
And they're doing a watch. A smart watch.
I'll play it for a week or two while I'm waiting for Spider-Man 2 to come out.
Perfect.
Spider-Man 2 comes out in October.
That's what I said.
More than 2 weeks.
Yeah, I get it.
Oh
Hey,
boy.
buddy. That's more than 2 weeks.
The point remains the same.
Gotcha.
I'll fiddle
Gotcha.
around with it for a while until Spider-Man 2 comes out. And
All
then I'll
right,
probably
well-
never touch it again.
For a game that comes out way sooner than that, we got Final Fantasy 16 news, and that is that a demo
tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
for Final Fantasy 16 featuring the first 2 hours or so of gameplay is out tomorrow.
That's 2 hours I can't play Tears of the Kingdom.
The save from that will go forward into the retail version of the game, so you can bring all that.
I love
Forward.
that Square does this every now and then, right? I mean, they've been doing this.
Yeah.
They've done this a few times. I love that they're doing it. Nobody else seems to do this anymore. But
I know.
yeah, big fan.
I love that. I'm a big fan of that. Here's the first 2 hours of the game, and all your progress comes forward into the retail.
I hope it's good. I'm for the last time, the couple times that I've seen it, it looks stupid, over the top,
Yeah.
crazy. But the usability options that they've outlined, I thought it was so smart of them to do that.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, if you don't want to deal with all the sort of nuts and bolts of these systems, you don't have to. You can
Yeah.
just sort of enjoy the game at a simple level and enjoy the story. And it's like, okay, I'm in.
I like that idea.
So yeah, I'm excited for this demo because I have in my head what I think the game is going to be like, and I'm excited about it. And I really hope that it kind of fits that.
Yeah. I hope so too. During today's presentation, they revealed that Platinum Games has developed a part of Final Fantasy 16, and I was like, uh-oh. Because I've not enjoyed a Platinum Games game, I think, ever.
That's weird.
No, but you know what? When you look at the
Yeah.
trailers, that totally that doesn't surprise me at all.
That kind of tracks. Yeah.
But if you mix that with the simplified controls, I'm okay
Hopefully
with it.
it'll be good.
If I can use simplified controls and still have all the on-screen craziness, yeah, sure, I'm down. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently the Kingdom Hearts team worked on some of this
Man,
too.
you are not selling it.
I know. They
Will you
just
stop
dumped
ruining this for me?
dumped cold water on my excitement for Final Fantasy 16 by announcing that Platinum and the Kingdom Hearts team had anything to do with it. Yeah. Whoops. But hey, we get to play the demo tomorrow, so that's exciting. A couple more things happened outside of Summer Games Fest and the Xbox Showcase, so we'll talk about some of those things. So Shredder's Revenge is getting some DLC. Did you guys see this?
Oh, you
did
bet I
like
did.
This? Excited about this?
What is it? What is it? What is it?
Very excited.
It will star Usagi Yojimbo.
Ah,
Yep, new
It's
playable
called
character.
Shredder's Revenge Dimension Shell Shock is the expansion.
There's apparently
So-
some new game modes, right?
Yes, a new game mode. They have not detailed what that is yet.
Right.
It's going to have some new music
Yep.
and new color palettes for the turtles.
Yep.
So yeah, a little bit of extra stuff for
gonna have
Shredder's
the-
Revenge. Very excited.
When they were flipping through, it looked like there was color palettes from like the original Playmates action figures, like the different shades of green that the 4 turtles were on in the toys.
Cool.
I also noticed one of the palettes was an NES palette,
Oh,
like from the Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, where they were all that kind of like pale green, like that solid pale green color. They have that kind of thing going on,
okay.
which was very cute.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, very excited.
Excellent.
Cannot wait.
Phil, I know you love your Dead Cells.
Oh boy, do
Yes. And we've heard from Motion Twin and Evil Empire that the game has now sold 10 million copies, which
I?
of
And
course
only
you
like 7 of those were to me.
I know.
So
7 of them to you. And they say that they're also reviving 2 retro IPs. So they did Castlevania,
mhm.
and apparently there's 2 more retro IPs that will be incorporated into Dead Cells.
I saw that,
Yeah.
and I'm very curious as to what they are. They didn't say which ones,
No.
but they did they gave a bit of a hint because they said something along the lines of like, you have games like the dumb sense of humor from your games in the 90s doesn't quite work as well today.
Uh-huh.
Something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
So presumably they're apparently dormant properties. So this is not, not something that we've been getting new games of in recent years.
Right.
But so I'm trying to figure out what this could be.
What does that mean? Bubsy?
90s games. that have been-
Any working designs? Yeah.
I mean, the only like
I
I'm-
don't
like-
know.
Like I thought of like, obviously like Duke Nukem. But-
yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be that.
No, I would assume not.
And what other 90s games have stupid like Boogerman? Is that
Yeah, I don't know.
going to be Dead Cells Boogerman? Some sort of Dead
Earthworm-
Cells clay fighter?
Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm
Don't say it.
Jim? Who knows?
Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm certainly going to play it.
certainly.
I love in my Dead Cells.
See
Indeed
some
you
awesome
do.
possum.
Dead Cells Gex says Nameva in our chat.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Finally.
Gex cells. Oh my gosh.
Finally.
Yes. All right.
Someone get Dana Gould on the line.
We got some new games added to Nintendo Switch Online
Mhm.
last week. Game Boy Color Blaster Master.
Yep. Enemy
Kurt-
Below.
Enemy Below. Yeah. Kirby Tilt and Tumble,
That was crazy.
which is very crazy. Yeah.
It uses
Uses the gyro.
your controller gyros.
It does.
It's fantastic. Did you actually play it?
I did. Yeah. I
It works
loaded
well,
up.
right?
It works pretty well. Yeah.
I mean, it
used,
works a lot better
my Pro
than-
controller.
Works a lot better than holding your N64
Yep.
with a
Upside
Wide
down.
Boy 64 in it,
It certainly does. It'd be a
Trying
lot
to-
easier to take screenshots of this game
trying to tilt that around.
on Switch. Yeah. Yikes. So yeah, Harvest Moon Super Nintendo
Okay.
and
So,
Mystery
beloved game.
Tower for the NES, which I think is Tower of Babel for from Namco.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Okay.
But, yeah, they retitled it Mystery Tower.
Yes.
Because no one knows how to pronounce Babel.
Yeah. And maybe also religious reasons.
I'm assuming it's more
Religion.
that.
No, I like my idea
Context.
more.
Yeah. Mm.
Ugh.
All right. Here's an exciting announcement that I thought might get Phil to play another game with me,
Uh-oh.
God.
and that is Fortnite. The new season of that just started, and Optimus Prime
Oh yeah.
is the level 100 unlock.
Yeah, I'm
in this
not
new
doing that.
season of Fortnite.
I'm
so
not
you can
doing
play
that.
as Optimus Prime.
Sorry.
In Fortnite, but no, Phil, you were not.
I am not going to, because that requires a lot of. Greg is shrinking.
Greg
is-
has shrunk.
Greg
He's
is
gone.
disappearing.
Yeah, from his standing desk.
Yeah,
Assume he's
There-
gonna
oh,
stand-
he's
there.
back.
He is.
he's back. No, season pass. Like, okay, here's the thing. If
Battle
they
Pass,
threw up,
$10.
huh?
$10 gets you
And-
your.
and- It's not the
Battle Pass.
$10 that gets me. It's the like, now play this game for like 50 hours
yeah.
to
yeah.
get to level 100.
You've got a
That's
kid. Get him to do it.
Yeah, just get him to do it for you.
he doesn't care. He was into.
He doesn't
was
get
into
a
Fortnite.
say.
He was into Fortnite for like the 3 weeks.
Well, here's what you do. You say, if you want Robux, here, I'll get you some
you go,
more
see?
Robux if you play Fortnite.
Learn to parent, Phil.
Yeah, unlock Optimus Prime for me, and you can get. I'll give you 1,000 Robux, which I think is $10.
I think that's $10. But yeah, no. If
Not playing
like if they had thrown up Optimus Prime in
as a
the
purchase, the item
Fort-
shop.
what's it called?
It's the item shop.
The item
Yeah, the
shop. I didn't know if they
the
had some sort of
skins.
branded
No, I don't think so.
in the Fort shop.
No, the
You know?
V-Bucks shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
V Mart.
The vomitorium.
Yeah. But like if they'd put it up there for like $15 or whatever,
You would have bought it.
I would have bought it. Absolutely. But I am not going to.
Of course, you could pay to unlock levels, but it would be more than $10.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
It would be more
Yeah.
to do.
How much would that be?
It's probably I don't know.
How much is it to buy 100 levels in Fortnite?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing
Probably
that. I'm sorry.
at least the price of a game. It's like a
Yeah, no,
$70
thank
game.
you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
But I can send you a video where Optimus Prime does all of the emotes in Fortnite if you.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be plenty of those on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what?
Hmm.
You know what? Talking about spending too much money on Transformers.
Yeah.
I bought that. That robot Optimus Prime, that RoboSen
Yeah.
Optimus Prime robot.
See, this is what made me think you would actually play Fortnite to get your Optimus Prime. I mean, you bought
No,
that
see,
thing.
it's not the money, it's the time.
It's the time.
It's
Gotcha.
the time. If I had to sit and build that robot, I would not have gotten it.
Okay.
You know. But I have a robot, like I have a functioning robot Optimus Prime now. I could have it do these Fortnite dances for real.
That's true. Yeah.
You know?
Hmm.
I press a button in an app and I can make my robot Optimus Prime dab.
Oh,
Did you know that?
I did not.
I did know
Yeah.
that.
Money well spent.
Wow.
I don't know if I go that far, but I did know that.
Money
As soon as I
spent.
unlock
Money
Optimus
spent.
Prime in Fortnite, I can make that Optimus Prime dab.
Yeah, but I can do it for real.
I see. Hmm.
I haven't seen the new Transformers movie yet. Nameva. I'm going too soon.
Hmm.
My buddy Justin went and saw it, and he was just as skeptical about it as I am, and he said it was good.
Oh,
I haven't heard any more details,
well
but
then.
he liked it.
Have you? By the way, I saw there's a Transformers game, a VR game that like came out recently, like back in
Oh,
May.
yeah, I think I heard about that.
Yes, it did. I bought it and I played a little bit of it on the
Yeah?
PlayStation VR,
Okay,
and it was okay. It's okay.
it's okay.
It's like a
Alright.
shooting gallery type thing.
Okay,
You know, you're
it's on
running around
PSVR
and-
too. Also,
Yes, there's an upgrade. You can have an upgrade if you bought the PS4 version. You can pay like $10 or something to upgrade to the PSVR 2 version.
I see. Okay.
So,
Well, speaking of VR,
real quick,
yeah.
Bill Mudrun in our chat says buying 100 levels in Fortnite costs $80.
So are you gonna do that?
I am not spending $80 on an Optimus Prime skin. I'm sorry. In a game that I really don't play.
But you have RoboCop in that.
Yeah, guess how much I paid for RoboCop?
$15.
$15.
Yeah, I don't know why they made Optimus Prime the level 100 unlock, but they did.
Oh, you know
So,
why.
Why? Money?
To get people to buy the season pass and to
Get-
get people to play for several hours.
And I'm going to do that. Yeah.
There you go. See?
I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm back in. Anyway, speaking of VR, let's talk about Apple's announcement from last week, which I was very excited about, a little less excited about now. They announced the Vision Pro,
Yes.
which is their headset. It is sort of augmented reality, extended reality, lots of focus on sort of desktop and productivity applications, which I gotta admit, I am not interested in any of that in the slightest
You don't want
in
to
VR.
be sitting in your house and have it feel like your coworkers are right there with you?
No.
Wow.
I don't want to look at web pages in virtual reality. I don't want to look at Twitter in VR. That sounds like a hellscape.
It's already a hellscape.
It's already a
outside of VR.
hellscape. Yeah, I don't want to do any of that in VR. The stuff that they showed that is more interesting are things like watching a movie on a giant screen in front of me that also then can have some sort of virtual environment around you as
can't
well.
you sit in a real environment in front of a giant screen?
Yes, you can do that too.
Just buy a deck of cards.
Buy a deck of cards. But the thing that interests me the most is that you can actually like see the person's eyes as they're in this headset, which I think
feel
is
like that
actually kind of a nice
so creepy.
Yeah.
nice convenience factor that you can see if they can see you.
But
There's
why would
kind
they
of a
see
connection
you?
thing
I don't
there.
understand. Like, is it not? Is it augmented reality or is it virtual reality?
It's both, and you have a little dial on the side where you can turn
You gotta,
on the
you gotta
virtual
crank it
environment.
into VR.
Or dial it back. And they did show off some game stuff, but it was basically just playing Apple Arcade games on a screen with a PS5
That's worth
controller.
$3,500.
They didn't show, VR games yet, which I'm sure will be a part of the Vision Pro or the Apple Vision ecosystem once that happens. But the rumors for this device were always that it's going to have a high price. It's going to be mainly for developers at first. They're not expecting to sell a whole lot of this headset, but there will be more
got it all right.
consumer based headsets that'll be priced lower than this will come out in a year or 2 or 3, and that'll be like the real launch of this thing. They wanted to get it like in the hands of developers and people who might use it for productivity, and then kind of shake out all the bugs and use cases for this thing, and then make the consumer unit. So I'm excited about that eventuality. $3,500 for this thing? No, not for no. But I'm excited to see how it ends up developing and what people do with this for sure.
I was amused at the hoops that they jumped through to avoid ever saying AR or VR.
Yeah, they didn't say that. It's spatial computing is what they are calling it.
Yeah.
Now, which I think is interesting, but I'm just not interested in it at all. I'm not into buying a device like that for right now.
No.
I'm more interested in gaming applications, a little bit of entertainment, sure. Like if they do VR concerts, that kind of thing, I think that might be fun. Or like fitness applications, which VR is already good at. Like the Quest is already good at that.
Yeah.
So, or the PSVR 2 is already good at that for much cheaper.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you guys are just clamoring to purchase the Vision Pro.
God, no.
Yeah, I figured not. Anyway, it is time for what you've been playing.
No.
Over an hour in.
Yeah, really.
Let's keep it short, boys.
Let's keep it short. Phil.
Yep.
Speaking of short.
Hey.
Our shortest member.
That's right.
You want to tell us about what you've been playing?
What we're talking about our short members? What happened here?
That's right. That's
There's
what
Greg.
we're doing. Yeah,
Greg's dripping down.
Greg's now the shortest member.
He's gone again.
Yeah.
He's back. Yeah,
we didn't even talk about Forza. I see that Forza thing. We didn't even talk about that from the Xbox showcase. Thumbs down from Greg.
Thumbs down.
Apparently.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I was playing more Street Fighter 6.
I haven't played Forza Motorsport in a long time, so
Oh,
I
okay.
wasn't super excited about that, to be honest.
Okay.
I played more Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
Specifically, I dove into the World Tour mode, which is the extensive single player mode that is in this game. And it is weird. It is bonkers. So someone at Capcom during the development of this game said, hey, what if Street Fighter was Yakuza? And then someone else working at Capcom said, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do it. And now there's like a little mini Yakuza game inside Street Fighter
6.
except now, instead of running around fighting the Japanese mafia, you're just punching random people on the street. You're
Okay.
getting into, well, you know what it is? You're getting into
Fisticuffs.
street fights. It's like you're
Oh.
a street fighter. But yeah, you run around and you have missions. You design your character because you're not playing as like Ryu or anyone. You design your own character. They have a very extensive custom character creator, and you can make really freaky looking fighters if you want,
Uh-huh.
which could be beneficial. You could have someone with like super long arms,
Mm-hmm.
so you have a better reach and that sort of thing.
Is that what you did?
I did not. I made a fairly normal looking person.
Okay.
Who looks a little like me if I was
Have
more
you tweeted a
handsome
screenshot of this character?
and more muscular.
Tweeted a screenshot of this normal person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Normal person.
Yeah, I tried making one that looked more like me, and then I just got sad. So I
That's pretty much what happens with me too.
This
It's
tweaked
okay. I'm gonna
a
make it look
bit.
more like me, and now it just looks like a white blob.
Yeah, basically.
Gonna,
Time to hit
gonna
the
give that guy some cheekbones and abs.
time
Yeah.
to hit the random button on the
Maybe
character
some
creator
hair.
and see what
Yeah.
we get. Yeah.
But yeah, you run around and you there are missions you have to complete as you go through the course of the game. You'll occasionally run into actual Street Fighter characters, and you'll meet them, and you'll have a match with them.
Is that called a meet and beat?
I mean, it is now.
Should be. CJ, you haven't lost it.
Meet and beat.
I remember I went to a meet and beat once, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, so I had to leave.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
and was
that-
actually in the title.
those
was
will
just a
get
meat
you.
beat, wasn't it?
After like 20 minutes, I had to leave.
Yeah.
But
Well, 20 minutes and a short nap.
you got to regain your energy.
Well, how are you supposed to walk out the door if,
I know.
if you're spent?
You get a little Gatorade in you, you're fine.
There's a refractory period.
Refractory.
Isn't that a
But
new
once-
game on Microsoft Game Studios lineup?
It should be.
And once you defeat one of the Street Fighter characters, you learn their style, so you can start like early in the game. I met Chun-Li, and I'm like, "Oh, hi, Chun-Li," and she says, "Oh, hi, nameless person," because you can't.
Nameless person.
And I
They don't have the
defeated Chun-Li, and
technology.
now it's like
They don't
Now
have the
you
AI
can-
technology to have Chun-Li actually say your name.
that's true.
Yeah.
And then I can fight like Chun-Li.
Ah.
And I what was I
Was
doing
that,
in the
is
game?
that like a Mega Man thing? After you
Yeah,
after you beat her in combat, you gain her powers?
exactly.
Oh.
It's like it's Street Fighter and Mega Man and Yakuza all in a blender.
uh-huh.
So and it's just it's bonkers. And like there are people all over the street. It's you're very populated. You're in Metro City where
Yeah.
Final Fight takes place. And you can just walk up to anyone on the street and you can talk to them, or
They
you
have
can
that
have a street
song
fight with them. So if you see like an old woman
downtown.
walking by, I'm going to beat up this old woman. You see a salary man walking by, I'm going to beat this guy up. And everyone's super enthusiastic about it.
Are there any members of the Mad Gear in there? Or
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, that's part of the plot of the game is you're fighting the Mad Gear gang.
Actually,
Yeah.
yeah, it is part of
I'm
the
gonna
game.
play this now.
Yeah. I'm actually quite pleased with it. It's pretty darn fun. So
Interesting.
I'm having a good
Okay.
time. And for casual folk, it has
Hey, that's me.
it has a simplified control scheme.
Oh,
So you don't even have to memorize all the joystick combinations
all the combos. You
like
don't
you had to
need
do
air
at the meet
combos.
and beats. Yeah,
Meet and beats.
you can just go in there and button mash and have a good time. So it's good. I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying Street Fighter 6.
All right.
Haven't played it online at all. Not a single match
Yeah,
because I know there's no
that's
point.
good. There's
Yeah.
no point.
There's
yeah,
no point.
I don't think I would either.
There's no point.
No.
But yeah, it actually has a pretty solid single player, which is great.
Hmm.
And then I've been playing Zelda. I got back into Zelda as promised. I finished up Star
Cheers.
Wars
The Kingdom.
getting back into the Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it more than I did Breath of the Wild.
Where
I don't know
are
if that's-
you in the game?
Oh, it feels like I'm very far, but I'm sure I'm not far at all. I've barely made any progress, but it feels like I've been playing for like, half a dozen more hours.
So have you?
I got.
I guess the question is, have you made it towards any of the regional disturbances?
I am at the first regional disturbance. That's what I
Okay.
spent yesterday doing, was making my way
To the regional disturbance.
across the country, because they tell you there are 4 regional disturbances. It's probably
exactly
a good
that
idea to
place.
go to the one in the northeast.
It'd be a good idea if you did that one first.
No, wait, northwest.
Northwest is
Yes,
correct.
northwest. So I made it there.
Yeah.
I made it there. I found the village of the bird people,
Rito.
the Ritos.
Named after
Doritos.
Doritos.
That's what I
I'll
figured.
have you know.
That's what I figured. Because
It's A.G. Aonuma's favorite snack.
That's all he ate during the production of this game. Now he had the different varieties. You can't live on nacho
Yeah.
cheese Doritos alone.
No, you got to have the flaming hot.
Yes. Maybe a little Cool Ranch if you want to simmer down.
Sure.
You know?
But that's for the Zora people.
Oh yeah. A nice refreshing dip in the Cool Ranch.
Yeah.
Oh baby.
The Zora Ranch. Yeah.
So I found the bird people, I found the Doritos, and then they were like, "Oh, hey, Link, it's me, your little buddy, the young impetuous teenage bird.
Tulin.
That's the one, and now I'm going to fly away. Now I got to go find him." So I went and I tracked him down and I found him. I climbed up on a mountain and I found him, and he said, "A monster stole my magic bow.
Oh, you hate it when that happens.
What do I do?"
Isn't that always the way?
Yeah.
And then I looked out and I see a monster flying around with his magic bow.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, well, this is going to be a boss fight.
It's not though.
Oh, it's not.
No.
No,
You're pretty
Thanks for the
far away
spoiler.
From the boss fight.
It's not a boss fight.
it's not a boss fight. I figured it was a boss fight. There's a giant monster.
You're gonna kick yourself when you see
Oh, really?
this giant monster fight.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, it was very, very late last night when I got to monster who stole the bird's magic bow. And I said,
Yeah.
well,
Time to put it down.
I'll fight this boss tomorrow, but apparently I won't.
It's not a boss. No.
I guess it's not a boss, but that's where I am.
Okay. Well, this is good. You're picking up steam, and I'm very happy to hear it.
No, this is on the Switch.
Right. My
I
mistake.
don't know. Kotaku told me I could run it on my computer.
They said it was perfect for Steam Deck.
Mm-hmm.
All I needed was this program called Yuzu.
But I'm
on the
enjoying
Steam
it.
Deck. Yeah.
I'm enjoying this game. I don't know.
That's good.
I don't know if it is because functionally it's not that different from Breath of the Wild. Yeah.
No, not really.
So I don't know.
I
Maybe-
think
I
that-
agree that it's better though.
It's definitely better. I
Yeah.
feel that the evolution of it, especially for the user experience,
Mhm.
has made it a better game. But I think you, like me, I thought about this a lot because, I did play through Breath of the Wild, but I didn't really enjoy it that much. I was disappointed by it.
Mhm.
And I don't like every now and then I'll talk to people who, because I'm really into Tears of the Kingdom. And so I'll be chatting with people who were really into Breath of the Wild as well. And they're like calling out, they're making references to things that happened in Breath of the Wild. And I've realized I have zero memory of that game.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I could not tell you what happened in that game.
Yeah.
But I played through it. But I think the improvements they've made along with going into this game knowing what I was getting into
Yeah.
has made a huge difference. I think that was one of the biggest problems with Breath of the Wild is that I went into that game thinking it was just a 3D Zelda game.
Right.
Like the kind we'd played a dozen times already.
Yeah.
Right. So it was a hell of a
It was
shock.
not. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I just like that the amount of side quests and side adventures and like things happening in the world just everything feels more alive than Breath of the Wild did. And Breath of the Wild did, wildlife and nature stuff great, but like the people's day-to-day lives in Hyrule were not really that fleshed out. In this game, they are fleshed out and they're a lot more interesting. So I
Right.
like this more.
Yeah.
And I like the story in this one more as well. And I think it's easier to follow the story. Like in Breath of the Wild, you had the memories that you had to go to a specific location to unlock, right? And you were given a picture of that location, and then you had to kind of play a
Yeah, that kinda stuck.
GeoGuessr game to find where that location was. Now you don't have to do that. You can find the story bits separately, and while you can play them in a different order, I think they're much better than anything that was in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Certainly I don't remember any of the memories in Breath of the Wild, whereas there are scenes in this one that are quite memorable already.
So where are you, CJ?
So, and I think I mentioned this. My daughter is sort of pressuring me to finish the game. She wants me to
You don't
finish
have to
the
give in
game.
to peer pressure like that.
I know, I don't.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
Okay, good.
And instead, she's catching up and is probably going to finish it before I do. But I did get as far as like Hyrule Castle, like towards the end of the game, and I placed down a travel medallion there so I can get back there quickly if I want to. But then I just went back down to the surface, and I'm doing shrines right now. I had unlocked a bunch of shrines as fast travel points, and then I'm just kind of loading them up and doing them one by one. And I want to explore the depths more as well. Like I don't want to like run to the end of this game. Like I want to not be spoiled at what the ending is. So in that sense, I want to maybe complete it sooner rather than later. But I also want to like continue to experience the world because I am having so much fun just doing that stuff, and especially the depths.
So the one thing, a friend of mine started playing this week as well, and he was completely confused for the first little while once he got off the first Sky Island.
Yeah.
And it kind of hit me, and I spoke about this a little bit last week too, because I felt like sort of the path I took, like I went to Rito Village and I did the Sky Temple and everything first, and then I went south and I went to eventually got to the desert and did that temple. And I mentioned how I felt like it got really difficult faster than I was expecting. And there were a few I felt like I was sort of blocked on a few different quests, like the Great Fairy quests. I wasn't figuring those out at all. Which meant my armor, like I couldn't upgrade my armor because that's how you do that. And then also I got into the depths, and yeah, I've gotten just completely, and by lost I don't mean like I didn't know what to do, but I just like, this is great, I want to keep going, exploring the depths, and that was awesome. But because I had sort of gone off there's clearly a critical path in this game, and because I had gone off of it, I ended up getting to these two I forget what they are, abandoned mines down there, but I got to them before I was supposed to get to them. So I was talking to constructs who were just like, I've got something. They're literally saying like, I've got something for you, but I can't give it to you yet because you didn't do this other quest thing first.
Right.
That happened twice. So I went back to the surface.
Well, I told you which one you have to do.
Well, I know that. So I went back to the surface and kind of reset myself, because I had found myself in the southeastern area. I found the fishing village and everything like that, which was really neat. That was a cool quest. And it's like, well, I haven't gone northeast yet, and I was getting to the point where the game was getting difficult, like more difficult than I wanted it to be, to the point that I was avoiding combat. And it's like, well, I'm supposed to go. They keep mentioning, hey, you should go northeast. So I went northeast, and boy, is it clear that's where you were supposed to go next.
Oh, really?
Like, because you're hitting shrines very frequently, I might add. but they feel like tutorial shrines. Like they're
Yeah.
teaching. Like it's ridiculous. I'm 60 hours in. I learned about 3 hours ago game time how to choose things that you could throw. I had no
Right.
idea. Like you can throw your weapons. I had
Yeah.
no idea you can choose items to throw. And there's
Yeah.
been moments in the game. It's like, God, I wish I could just throw this.
And
Instead
you
of
can't.
I've just
You've
used an
been
arrow.
able to the whole time. Right.
And I've been able to the whole time. I was using an arrow, but because I went off the critical path, the game
Yeah.
never taught me that, right? Which is fine, but it's just like because it's a big open world and the freedom is there, but even though the freedom is there, it's clearly designed to go to certain places first.
There's that, and also I think this game, much like a game like Elden Ring, it's meant to be kind of a communal experience too. Like I know you don't listen to a whole lot of game podcasts,
Right.
but
In this
I
game, I've
do.
actually been going out of my way to not look things up.
but like hearing about, the vehicles that people are making
Mhm.
or like where the auto build is and uh the fact that when you're in the ultra hand, if you press ZL, it actually like returns things to a level
Right.
orientation automatically.
Wait, it does?
It does,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So if you're
pretty
having
handy.
trouble, just hit ZL.
Pretty handy.
Okay.
It's extremely handy.
Good to know.
Yeah, and I didn't know about that stuff until I heard about it on other podcasts, and it's like,
Right.
so I feel like that has also played a part here, where the game is supposed to be more of a communal experience too, where it's like, oh, did you hear
Sure.
about this thing? And it's kind of recreating that sort of schoolyard, like, oh, did you hear about the Minus World kind of thing,
Right.
or
This game has a minus world?
no? Well,
Oh.
it kind of does,
Oh,
Yeah.
but
No, it's great, but I'm glad that I went back and did that. And also, yes, I went down to the depths and I went to where I needed to be to get auto build. And then I jumped around to those other places I'd found to get the schematics, which is what they were
Yeah.
waiting to give me.
and then you just mop those up. You don't have to do anything more. You just
Right.
talk to
But it's just like it there's a flow there that's kind of broken, And again,
I kind of like that
anyway,
though.
I'm really glad that I decided to get back onto and go northeast because again, not that I wasn't enjoying it, but a lot of I mean the whole point of the game is you get like these 100 different quest threads that
Yeah.
you're picking away at all of them gradually, right? And everything
Mhm.
sort of starts to come together, but everything had started to grind to a halt. And I was still enjoying it, but I was like, I just don't know what to do now. And there's still an element of like I'm traveling along a mountain and I look over and there's a light over there. Oh, what's that? I haven't been there yet. So I'll go check that out. And that's awesome. The exploration and discovery is great.
Mhm.
But I'm so glad that I got back. I went back to Lookout Landing. I headed out the East Gate. I went northeast. I got to Death's Mountain and everything that entailed getting there. I was like, okay, now the game's picking up again. Now, like this is clearly
Yeah.
what they wanted me to do. So I'm enjoying
Yeah.
it. Like I'm back to it where it's like I don't want to put this down. I just want to keep playing it
Yeah.
because things are happening again and they're interesting things that are happening again. So,
Mhm.
but anyway, I was mentioning earlier that a friend of mine had started playing, and he kept messaging me, and he's like, "Well, like, how do I use these? Like, what should I like? There's a tower in the distance. Should I go to that?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. You need those to open up the map. Well, how do I make it work? Nothing's happening." And it's like, well, that's weird because if you do get to towers where they don't work, but there's always somebody standing there saying this is broken, right? Like
Not always standing right there, but in the
almost always.
vicinity. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, aren't you kind of forced to do like that first tower?
you're not forced to go to Lookout Landing.
No, you're
I
not.
think a lot of people
Mm.
do. I think they depend on people landing and looking north and seeing the castle. It's
Right.
like, well,
And then
that's the
going
most
there.
interesting thing on the horizon, so I'm going to go that way.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
And that's
And
what I
there's
say
the
probably
settlement.
90% of
Wandering.
people do, but he didn't. He went
Oh,
south.
okay.
And
Oh.
so when we were chatting more and I finally became clear, it's like, well, when I landed from the Sky Islands, I just went south. I was like, oh, okay, turn around, go north,
Turn around.
find Lookout Landing,
Yeah.
and that will get you on your way. And he did that, and it's like, okay, now I get what's happening. Now I know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
So it's like it's sort of the inherent danger, I think, of giving you that much freedom in that you can have people who completely miss what they're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
Or,
Right.
I mean, yes,
Sure.
you have the freedom to do whatever you want, but they make it way more difficult on themselves
Yeah.
because they didn't go where, the designers clearly wanted them to go.
Yeah.
So,
I think
but
that's
anyway,
true.
still really enjoying it. I had a because yet another thread that's opened up in the depths where you start to find those statues,
Mm-hmm.
which is great. Did you find the one with the multiple eyes? The giant one?
No.
So I'll give you a little tip. This is
Yeah.
a bit of a spoiler, but don't do what I did. So
Don't do what you
there's a
did.
quest line that will eventually get you onto the Great Plateau, but
Mhm.
it's to do with it's called the Call from the Depths or something like that. So there's you'll find in a really cool sequence in the depths if you find it if you stumble across it, which is what I did.
Mhm.
You get into this gigantic room with this enormous statue, and it's got 4 eyes. Well, the eyes are missing. It's got 4 eye sockets, and it says the eyes are on the surface.
Mm.
I need you to bring them back to me.
Okay.
So it's all done on the Great Plateau. There are 4 different chasms, and there are eyes around them.
Oh.
You have to find and throw into the chasm, and then jump down into the chasm and bring it back to the statue. Very cool.
Oh, yeah.
So
I have not done this yet.
I'm on the Great Plateau and I'm doing this, and it's like, well, I'm already here. And the Great Plateau isn't that big. So, and I mean, the map shows you where all this stuff is, and the eyes aren't far away. They're not hard to find. So, well, I'm just going to throw them in. I'm going to throw them all in, and then I'll jump down each chasm and I'll find them. And didn't work that way. Don't do that.
Yeah.
When you throw one in, just jump in after it, because what happened to me is the game forgot.
Right.
that
I
I've
mean,
done
it does that if you go too far away from the vehicles you built.
Right.
It
But these
gets rid
it's
of
weird because
those.
these are excuse me, because these are quest items, and when you throw it in, it actually says 1 of 4 thrown into a chasm, 2 of it's counting them,
Okay.
but still, once you jump in and you're moving around, because it's a bit of work. Like they don't just land next to the statue and just carry it over and give it to it.
Right.
There's some work involved.
Okay.
But then the other ones despawn and respawn back in their original spots. So that turned it into a bit of a longer quest than I think it needed to be, but it's still very cool. I still really liked it a lot. And auto build was super helpful in that situation.
Yes.
So, yeah, still really enjoying it a lot.
It's so good.
Yeah, it really
So
is.
good. Yeah. What else are you playing, Greg?
I only played one other thing this week that I was going to bring up, just because I had never really played it before. But on Thursday night, this past Thursday, I had somebody who donated to Extra Life who had requested that I try out Jungle Strike on the Genesis. So the Strike series, of course, was a series of I think it was a Comanche helicopter sort of isometric view, combat games. I think the guy who graded them was a combat vet. I'm not sure, but from Electronic Arts. And the first one was called Desert Strike. It came out around the same time as Desert Storm. It was very clearly based on Desert Storm. But then there were 2 sequels. Well, 3 sequels I didn't know of. But there was, on the Genesis, there was Jungle Strike and then Urban Strike. And I never really played them. They're difficult games. But I never was super interested in them. There was a whole group of shooters on the Genesis in particular that I always thought looked neat, but I wasn't great at shooters. So I just never wanted to waste my money on them, on renting or buying them, because I figured I'd just suck at them. Of course, nowadays, you can play anything from back then pretty much for free if you want to. So somebody requested I play this. And I got to say, man, that's a good game. Holy, I wasn't ready for how much I enjoyed it. Like when I went into it, I remember saying, because my streams are an hour and a half long, and I'm like, I really was sure that we were going to spend an hour and a half of me dying over and over again in the first level, and then turning it off at the end of the hour and a half. Not too far from what happened, because the game's tough. But like, you start off the first level, you're in DC. You're flying this helicopter around DC. There are terrorists attacking. You start at the White House. And then it's so funny because you're flying around to these like government buildings, and it's in big signs that was like DOJ, FBI, like it's all these, IRS, which everyone kept telling me to blow up. But and then it's like there are terrorist cells in the city. You have to go find them and you destroy those. And then the next mission is like, we have an informant in one of these houses. You have to go blow up these HQ houses and rescue these informants. And then there are car bombs. You have to find them on the map and destroy them before they blow up a building. And then the presidential motorcade is coming in. You have to protect the limousine until it gets to the White House and stuff like that. Like it's extremely playable. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so it's an Apache. Mike's in the chat. Apache helicopter in Desert Strike, Comanche in Jungle Strike, and future helicopter in Urban Strike. But, yeah, excuse me. It's extremely playable. You have to pay attention to your fuel. You have to pay attention to your ammo. You have to constantly pick up resources and stuff like that. And you have to pay attention to, of course, firing on friendlies. Like you don't want to, for instance, you don't want to shoot at the White House. Just saying. And then the thing that Jungle Strike introduced the series was multiple vehicles. I believe this was Jungle Strike that introduced it. So like the second mission, you're actually in a boat for most of it, destroying like nuclear submarines and stuff like that. Anyway, yeah. So the only thing is that it's definitely a product of its time. There's no HUD on the screen. So to check your missions or to check the map, you have to press start and go to this very specific screen, which I think to me is the only thing that, well, it really ages it, right? Nowadays you would at least have like an arrow pointing where your next objective was, but not even that. Like you go to the map and it's, if your current objective is to find in the second, I think it's second or third mission, there's a bunch of, you're over a mostly ocean area with a shoreline in the northeast. And there's a bunch of trucks parked on the northeast beach and a bunch of speedboats. And a lot of the idea is that there are drug smugglers and the speedboats that are trying to get to the shore to load this stuff up on the truck. So you're trying to destroy these speedboats. And then if you don't do it in time and they get onto the trucks, then you're trying to destroy the trucks before they leave the map. And to do that, it doesn't tell you where they are. It tells you where they are on the map. But when you're on the main screen, there's no indication to show where they are. Like there's no little arrow on the edge of the screen or anything like that, which you would see today. So there's a lot of flipping between the map and the main screen, which I would say is sort of the only downfall of the whole thing. But still, by the end of the 90 minutes, I was just like, this is really great. Like I see now, 30 years later, what people saw in the series. Like, I was always sort of afraid to play it because I heard it was difficult. And the content, the subject matter didn't really speak to me. So I just sort of passed them over and avoided them. And so I was really, really glad to play them this week. So just wanted to call that out. Every now and then somebody will do that where they'll request that I play something that I'm aware of, but I haven't really played a lot of. And I'll discover that it's really great. And it's the same thing happens with Generation 16. Like I keep pointing to the game Flicky.
Oh yeah.
When I did it for Generation 16. I never played that game. It looked stupid. It had a stupid cover. It looked old because it was, right? And it's like, this is just like, nah, I don't want to play this. And then I played it for the show. And it's like, this is a fantastic little game. Like, I'm so happy that I got to play this. So yeah, Strike series is great. I highly recommend it if you haven't tried it. It's a long dormant series. I think there was one more on the PlayStation called Soviet Strike.
I think you're right.
I have no idea how that was. And actually, there was another one called Future Cop LAPD on the PlayStation 1 that was a strike game. Was meant to be a strike game, and that was really good. And there you go. Like I played that and loved it. I had no idea it was a strike game when I played it, but also a great game that I don't think anyone really talks about anymore. So yeah, like 5 games in the series.
You know what you need to go back and play now, Greg?
What's that?
Is Renegade Ops.
Renegade Ops.
You remember Renegade Ops? It was a Sega game.
The name. Yeah.
Renegade Ops was a Sega game that came out, let's see, 2011, I believe.
Okay. Oh, it looks like a strike game.
It's very much, I mean, it plays just like a strike game.
Huh.
And despite having just the most obnoxiously generic name a video game could have, It's a really good game.
That
Hmm.
speaking of obnoxious, that's one thing you'll find in this game is boy is it ever like rah rah. I mean, it has to be. It's an American military style simulator,
Sure.
right? But you got like
Right.
the dude who's going to be the pilot of the thing in the briefings is sitting back with his feet up and it's just like, oh man, those stupid politicians or like those liberals are just too nice and stuff like that. Like it's not that hardcore, but it's just
Right.
very much in that vein, like the hard boiled military guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it is what it is. Whatever. It's a fun game. So, oh, there you go. Soviet Strike and Nuclear Strike. So there's a lot of Strike games.
Yeah.
But the Genesis ones, check them out. Yeah, and that Renegade Alps looks interesting.
Yeah. You should.
And there's also Army Men Air Attack. I mean, come
Good
on.
Lord. The only good Army Men game.
That is a good Army Men game.
Uh,
Very good. All right. Well, I've been playing a couple of things. Let's see. On Guard. Let's talk about this. I think this was if it wasn't in Summer Game Fest, it might have been in the Wholesome Direct. But On Guard is I guess it started as a student game. And the main character, you play this sort of swashbuckling Spanish protagonist, female. And it sort of reminds me of Assassin's Creed in a way, but the gameplay I think is much more arcadey and light. And there's a demo out on Steam now, and I played a little bit of that. So, and it's really fun. You can use your environment. It actually kind of plays like a beat 'em up in a way, but with swords. And you can like kick boxes into your opponents and like kick them into the wall or like push them into the water if you're fighting by the docks. So there's some free form bit of combat there. You automatically target the closest opponent to you, so you really only have to worry about parrying and attacking. And you can also like roll to dodge and things like that. But very interesting mechanics. There's a little bit of platforming involved too. In the demo, you are chasing a a character who is dressed up that they keep strongly suggesting is not, in capital letters, your brother, just in a mask. So I assume that it actually is your brother in a mask or something. Called El Vigilante is his name. And so there's a bit of like running across rooftops and swinging on like flag poles that are hanging outside of buildings. And it's just a really fun demo. I had a really good time with it. I got to what I assume is the end boss, El Vigilante, and unfortunately was not able to beat El Vigilante. So, but I'm really looking forward to this game. Like the combat is really cool. It's funny in all the right ways. Like the humor's good. Has a female protagonist, which you don't see a whole lot of. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. On Guard is the name of it, and there's a demo on Steam right now. I also played the demo for Viewfinder. Viewfinder, you might remember, is the game.
Viewfinders.
What's that?
I remember Viewfinders.
Yeah, little get the little
Yeah.
3D stereoscopic image.
They were great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in this game, you have the power to take pictures and then place them in the environment and have that environment like build out in 3D.
Looks very
this is that game.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of
seeing
a puzzle mechanic involved in that with how you place the photos and things like that. But you can also rewind time. So if you place something wrong, you just hit the rewind button up to the point where you laid the picture down and you can proceed. It's almost like you're time sweeping, really.
Well, now I'm interested.
So you rewind and it brings up this interface that looks like a VCR rewinding in it too. So it's very stylistically cool. And yeah, you find these photos in various environments and kind of lay them down, and the 3D environment expands in front of you. But it's not just photos. Like there's a bit in the demo where they have like drawings and paintings that you can also do the same thing with, which is very cool. And Yeah, the demo probably is like a 15-minute or so
I have
demo
to
of
get
the
that.
game. Really, really quite interesting. So yeah, it's kind of puzzly, but I really quite enjoyed the demo.
Hmm.
And that's on PS5 right now. You can download that demo, which I did. I also played the demo of Lies of P. So Lies of P,
Lies of P.
a retelling of Pinocchio.
Like where it's stored?
Stop.
That's not correct. No.
Because it's
No.
actually the bladder, despite what people have said.
On the internet would have you believe.
Yeah.
No, Lies of P, so it's sort of a retelling of Pinocchio, but it's a Souls-like game. So you are a puppet, and in the demo, you're like going to meet, I think it's Geppetto. I don't know. There's a whole thing. But anyway, it's a Souls-like, and I didn't really enjoy it. I was like, this would be really
Pauly
cool.
Shore?
What's that?
Is this the Pinocchio with Pauly Shore?
No.
Oh.
If it was that, I might have enjoyed it more.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but it's a Souls-like, and it kind of has all those trappings where, it's a little bit difficult, and
Yeah.
I just didn't enjoy it. I really like the ambiance, and like the story is cool, but this one's not going to be for me. It is going to be on Game Pass, so I could play it on Game Pass without spending any money, but I didn't enjoy the demo. Demo's out on everything though. So hey, if you like Souls likes, you'll probably dig this one quite a bit. Me, not so much.
Okay.
I played a bunch of Fortnite because of the update.
Right.
And they have Cybertron cannons as one of the weapons that you can pick up now. It's just a huge hulking cannon that you can fire once before it has to recharge.
Okay.
And they've added velociraptors into the game that you can ride around.
This is not Transformers related.
This is not Transformers related. No, the theme of the season is wilds, and as part of that, you can ride on velociraptors. Okay,
duh.
Sure, as if it was like Dinobot. It was like Beast Wars type stuff.
Well, Optimus Primal is in the game. You can buy the skin for Optimus Primal.
Oh, was that right?
It's in the item shop. Yeah.
Okay.
So you could do that if you want. You don't want to.
I wasn't a 90s kid. I was an 80s kid.
I know. I know. Yeah, but so you can also like grind rail on like vines and stuff. So in the last season of Fortnite, they introduced this sort of metropolis city where you can grind on rails. Now they've kind of extended that into the more foresty environments, more jungle environments by letting you grind on vines. So there are these like huge vines that you can now grind on. But Fortnite is, I think it's a great game still, and it's kind of like something that I can play. It's a good palate cleanser, I think. And there's a ranked mode now, but I really can't even get into that. Like, I don't want to play ranked because I know it will be bad. I know even from just playing solo no build mode, I'm sure I'm up against a bunch of bots and kids because that's my level of play. That's my comfort zone, right? Just put me against the people who are bad at this game, please. Yeah, but I'm having fun with it. And I played a bunch more of Humanity. Of course I did. I'm loving the user stages that we're getting. Somebody made a Picross game in Humanity, which I saw and was just amazed by. It looks so awesome. And we're doing this thing called the Shiba Game Fest inside Humanity, where we put together a playlist of user stages that were inspired by other games. And there's a Hitman level called Hitmanity that's really fun. That does some
that's pretty cute,
interesting stuff. Somebody made a Rob, the robot in Humanity that actually the hands move up and down.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's a Kirby. Somebody made a huge Kirby that actually inhales people.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of fun stuff being done in the Humanity user stages, and I'm still having a blast with that. Like for me, I've been playing the campaign for a while. Playing user stages, it's like a whole new game. Like I never know what I'm gonna play when I load up a user stage, and it's fantastic for me. But anyway,
I see you got your Pac-Man Lego.
I hope people are playing that. Yeah, I got my Pac-Man Lego.
It's down in front of the shelf back there.
I know you got these nice shelves. You
Instead of
can't
on
even
it.
set it up on top of the shelf.
Well, it was on top of the shelf, but I figured I'd put it on the floor just so it wasn't front and center the entire stream. But I
You mean
will
like
be
mine is?
assembling that like yours is. Yeah, exactly. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to assembling that and then placing it on top of the shelves
Okay.
back there. So, yeah. But anyway, that's it. That's all I've been playing. So I guess that means it's the end of the show because we've already gone on for an hour and 45 minutes.
That's true.
and I think we should just end it here. What do you think?
I think that's a good idea.
There are no tweets. There are no tweets. No tweets. There we go.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitter or @P1 Podcast at mastodon.social. If perhaps you prefer a more old school way of contacting the show, you can go to player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Stewart. You'll find Generation 16 episodes, and you'll find show notes and links to all the things we talked about, and a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Stitcher Radio. We're on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1 Podcast, or you can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, the Facebooks, the Twitch televisions. Typically, we record our show at 5:30 specific time on Sundays. But follow our Twitter account or our Mastodon account. Do we have a Blue Sky yet?
No.
We don't have a Blue Sky. Don't follow us there.
Are you on Blue Sky, Phil?
No, I'm not. Someone send me an invite.
Yeah, somebody send me an invite for Blue Sky.
I really
also.
want to.
I don't have one.
I put in
Me too.
I put in a reservation. I put in on the waiting list or whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't got it yet. So someone send me an invite. And but follow those accounts to find out when we are doing our next live show. And join us, please, won't you? Won't you? And I'll tell you what, if you like what you've heard, and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1 Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. In order for us to effectively discuss them on our show, we need the 3 of those Apple Vision Pros. And I don't know if you've heard, but they ain't cheap. So send us your money.
We won't be doing that.
We won't?
We'd have to podcast in them too.
Well, I could do that.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you can see our eyes, so
Yeah, you could see my creepy eyes peering out through them.
There you go. Okay.
I
We'll
did
think about it.
I did notice
But no.
that once you start actively using whatever it is you're using inside your helmet,
Yeah.
that the view kind of like gets all blurry, like to
It's
the people
only
looking
if
on the
you
outside.
can't see the outside world, it no longer shows your eyes.
Right.
so weird.
If you can,
Yeah.
if you using the headset can see the outside world, people can see your eyes. Yeah,
Right.
that's how that works.
But once you start focusing on whatever it is you're watching inside your helmet.
dialing in, yeah, if you dial in a virtual environment, then yeah, it takes away
Okay.
your eyes.
Okay. I just want to make sure people can't see me watching my videos, my special videos when I'm inside that helmet.
Your meat and beats.
See-
Well, there's not a lot of meeting going on. It's terrible. It's terrible. You know what we do use your money for, dear friends? It's to pay for our show, of course. It's to keep the streams going and all that stuff. And
That's true.
I'll tell you what, because we appreciate you so much, because you're a darn nice person, and I mean you specifically, the one listening to this, we go out of our way to record a special bonus episode every week just for you. where we get to play games, crack-wise, having all that fun you can't do on the regular show. CJ,
Yeah.
do we have a show this week? Or when I mean show.
A show.
Do we have a game? We
Yeah,
barely have
yeah.
a show any week. Do we have a
That's-
game this week?
Sure, we do.
Oh.
We do have a game.
Oh golly. Tell me more.
Yes.
Tell me more.
It is a Jeopardy game sent to us by Mathman1024.
Oh,
And it is based around you remember in EGM they used to do this thing called Fact File
I do.
previews.
I
They
do.
would often list the good, the bad, and the ugly for a game.
Yep.
Well, Mathman has taken several of the games from the October 1993 issue and created a Jeopardy Labs game out of the good, the bad, and the ugly. For
Oh.
those. Or out of the Fact File.
That was the
So-
original name of our podcast.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Good, bad, and
Which
the
one
ugly.
am I?
I mean, that's
Ugly.
up to the listeners at home to figure out on their own.
But anyway, and then you may remember one of the things included in those Fact File info boxes were the percent complete. for
Oh
the game,
yeah.
like in development, what the
That's
percent
right.
complete was. So he has listed those as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
This should be weird.
And there are different point values. So apparently one question could make or break us, and he wants us to play individually. So we'll be doing that.
Oh God.
It's gonna be
Look, I don't like this
I'm way too tired to do this, but let's go.
people dictating how we should play our game. My goodness.
could be fun.
Okay.
It'll be fun.
Okay. And if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to the patreon.com/Greg Seward to help support Greg's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Phil. And if you are a supporter of the $5 variety,
Also cheap.
you get access to the Weekly Commute, which is a vlog series that I do, which outlines what I've been doing with the different videos and other projects I'm working on. This past week, I was talking about how I've reached out to one of the original developers of the game that will be the focus of the next Generation 16, and he kindly agreed to talk to me about his game. And actually, I just got an email from him earlier today with a cornucopia of information, way more than I was expecting. It was very generous of him. And also other things like I've been going through my old Gaming Age reviews. Still stuck in the N64 reviews lately. Doing a fair amount of semi-decent racing games. So yeah, anyway, it's more exciting than it sounds. But yeah, please consider going in and supporting the show. I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. You should. Is that it?
That's it.
CJ.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil.
Oh, you got it, man. Wait, who? Ooh, I slipped. Let me try that again. Gregory. There we go.
Yo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Philip.
Hey, you got it, dude. And of course, thank you to you, our wonderful, wonderful listeners. Every single darned one of you. Remember, as always, take care of yourself, your loved one, your family, your friends. Do what you got to do to be safe. Be kind to all those around you. And we hope to see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Toodle-oodles.